The YNW Melly murder trial somehow gets even messier. John Phillips, the lawyer for the victims' families in the lawsuit, tweeted out a picture of a bullet hole on the YNW juvie's face. Yes, you heard me correctly. A lawyer for the victims' families is arguing with people on Twitter, tweeting out autopsy pictures, and guess what? He apparently wasn't even supposed to have these pictures. I don't know if that's true, but I'm gonna read the full motion. Stick around for the full video. Let's go. Hit subscribe. All right, we got urgent motion for an order to show cause against the office of Broward State Attorney Harold F. Pryor and the lawyer John Phillips, who's representing the families of the victims. Both members of the Florida Bar should not be referred for disciplinary action due to conduct prejudicial to the administration of justice. Here we go. On or about November 2024, the office of Broward State Attorney Harold F. Pryor authored an order at the behest of Attorney John Phillips, providing an unredacted form of evidence demanded by John Phillips. See copy of email including proposed order attached here too as Exhibit 1. Hold on, is the defense saying that John Phillips was not supposed to get this evidence? The Office of the Broward State Attorneys agreed to provide all the unredacted evidence to the descendants' civil attorneys without informing this court or the defendant's criminal attorneys. Oh, I'm not sure if that's standard procedure. Is it normal for the state attorney's office to hand over everything and not inform anyone? The records demanded included, but were not limited to, unredacted autopsy photographs of the decedents. The photograph or video or audio recording of an autopsy held by a medical examiner is confidential and exempt from blah 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 of the state constitution with exception to surviving parent. Wait, so John Phillips was not supposed to have any of this. It was discovered on or around May 3rd, 2025. Wait, 2 days ago? Attorney John Phillips released various autopsy photos of Christopher Thomas on his X account while engaging in analysis and arguments with the public. No, he did not. So John Phillips is always tweeting about basically how he thinks Melly's guilty, right? So here's his tweet. If your hero is innocent, why won't his people talk? How did Juvie get shot from 8 to 10 feet away on the left side of his face with gunpowder burns and have his defensive wounds on his left hand if the drive-by was on the right side? 100% shot by the person in the back passenger seat. He's responding to a Melly fan. Attached to that tweet is a picture of the bullet hole on Juvie's face. Like straight up the autopsy picture. On Twitter. It only has 700 views, but Melly's mom said, "Sir, you're a civil attorney, not criminal. Please stay in your lane. Have a blessed day." Bro, this is so messy. He also said, "I got multiple witnesses to admit they went back and hid it," referring to the murder weapon. He has witnesses that admit they went back and hid the murder weapon. Have recordings of that. Just wait. The lies will be uncovered. Just tired of the reporters and co-conspirators passing on lies and not doing the work. Lazy or complicit. Oh boy, he responded 7 hours ago to this motion. This motion is legally frivolous and defamatory. Did it go straight to the press even before proofreading? Question mark. It also falsely claims I don't represent Juvie's interests. I do 100% and have full support of Chris Thomas's family to release evidence to counteract the falsehoods presented by the defense and their family. The point is they don't want it out there and are desperate to hide that Juvie was shot on the left side from close range. This isn't a secret. Any credible media would discuss adverse facts instead of platform a bunch of sock accounts to harass me. What the fuck is a sock account? I don't think I've ever heard that term before. By the way, isn't Raven Liberty literally being investigated for impropriety in this case? Where's that mentioned? Hold on. The investigation in Raven Liberty is horseshit. They haven't arrested her and it's been 15 months. All right, back to the motion here. John Phillips does not represent the interests of Christopher Thomas, and he nor his clients were entitled to the privileged autopsy report of photos of Mr. Thomas. There's no way. Did this lawyer really tweet out pictures of an autopsy that he wasn't even supposed to have? So here's they put the exhibit and the emotion here of his tweet. And I'm obviously not going to show the bullet wound one. All right. John Phillips was causing significant public dissemination of sensitive material that he should never have been allowed to access to, but for the office of the state attorney agreeing to do such. Criminal charges related to the photographs are still pending, and the unauthorized release of these images has the potential to severely impact the integrity of the ongoing proceedings. What's he talking about, like a jury? Thankfully, there's only 700 views on Twitter, which isn't really shit, but still. The conduct of the Broward State Attorney's Office and John Phillips together constitutes a violation of the ethical standards as set forth in the rules regulating the Florida Bar. Specifically, Rule 484D prohibits conduct that is prejudicial to the administration of justice. The unauthorized dissemination of sensitive autopsy photographs undermines public confidence in the legal system and the fair administration of justice. The Florida Supreme Court has addressed similar ethical breaches, including but not limited to prohibiting a lawyer from engaging in conduct in connection with practice of law that was prejudicial to the administration of justice, citing Florida Bar v. Scheinberg and Florida Bar v. Arugu. Florida courts are clear that the public is to be protected from unethical conduct, and unethical conduct is to be sanctioned to deter other lawyers from engaging in similar misconduct. The duty to protect the public and maintain the integrity of the legal system is paramount, but protecting Mr. Demmett's constitutional right to a fair trial is greater. The actions of Broward State Attorney's Office agreeing to provide the unredacted evidence to a civil attorney previously known to continuously post about the criminal case has not only compromised the ongoing criminal proceedings, but also eroded public trust in the legal profession. The actions of John Phillips done with malicious intent have not only compromised the ongoing criminal proceedings, but also eroded public trust in the legal profession. Wait, why'd they just repeat this? Or is this like a typo? They copy and pasted the same shit twice? The Office of State Attorney has been called again usurping justice. This time around, they are conspiring with the decedent's attorney, John Phillips, to sway public opinion and taint the jury pool, thereby precluding Jamel Dimmons from receiving a fair trial. This misconduct of the office, Broward State Attorney Harold F. Pryor, is not only willful and flagrant, but it's ongoing and compounded with one intentional ethical violation after the next. The conduct of both the office and the state attorney and John Phillips must be sought before other prosecutors and or attorneys. Respectfully request this honorable court to issue an order to show cause why the office of the state attorney Harold F. Pryor and John Phillips should not be referred to the Florida bar for disciplinary action based on the aforementioned ethical violations. So that she's trying to report everyone to the Florida bar. Disqualify John Phillips from any further representation of the decedent's families in the subject matter criminal proceedings. Holy shit. Raven Liberty just requested to kick his ass off the case for the families that are suing Melly. Any other relief that this court deems necessary and just. Law Office of Raven Liberty. This is a good reply to John Phillips though about him pointing out Raven Liberty is being investigated. According to Fine, there's no investigation regarding Miss Liberty. Remember that? The judge literally said, I don't think she's being investigated. This is horse shit. He called the state out on their lie. I find it crazy, though, that a lawyer of one of the deceased victims is tweeting out autopsy pictures, arguing with random people on Twitter. What are you doing? Are you 20? That seems like something a 20-year-old person would do. Not even that, dude. 16 years old. And I understand there's some sketchy evidence. Like, a lot of evidence points to that back seat. The back seat that Melly is on video going into. You know what I mean? So I understand what he's saying here. There's burn marks on the victim's face and everything. A lot of evidence points to that back seat. But this motherfucker apparently tweeted out pictures he wasn't even supposed to have. If that's true, and he wasn't supposed to have this shit, there's a big issue here. Defendant Jamel Dimmons' supplemental witness list. Miss Buckaloo, the state attorney that is prosecuting the case. What? What's going on here? Why do they want her to be a witness? And Dr. Heather Holmes, who seems to be a forensic psychologist based in Florida somewhere. And Brandon Williams, I'm not sure who that is, but... All right, we got a motion to strike notice of appearance and all other pleading of victims. On January 8th, 2019, with the enactment of Revision 1, Article 1, Section 16 of the Florida Constitution, victims of crime were granted the right to be informed, to be present, and to be heard when relevant at all crucial stages of criminal proceedings. Although a victim's attorney may file motions on behalf of the victim to enforce their rights, Marcy's Law does not support a victim's filing of some form of notice of election to exercise the rights of legal representation in a criminal proceeding. In the case at hand, John Phillips... Wait, what? John Phillips did something else? John Phillips filed not only a notice of appearance, but a designation of email. Somehow the victims' families are a party to the criminal proceeding. The victims are not entitled to receive pleadings as they are not a party to this matter. Jesus, that's a rough statement. That seems like a very heartless statement right there. So it sounds like John Phillips wants to like be in the loop on the criminal proceedings. This guy's trying to get any and all information, dude. He's being a very aggressive lawyer for the victims' families. Based upon the foregoing notice of appearance filed on behalf of the victims and the objections are outside the scope of the rights granted to the victim, must be stricken. Defendant Jamel Dimmons, through his attorneys, requests this order of this court striking the notice of appearances and any all pleadings filed on behalf of the alleged victims' families. This shit is getting messy with the victim's family's lawyer, is basically the gist of this. Comment down below what you guys think. Hit subscribe. Love you boys. Peace out.